What is up, guys? We got another podcast here with the AFK company tonight. Got a few things we want to talk about. Got the usual crew going, minus one. But yeah, we'll kick it off. I know we got a couple things we want to talk about. A lot of major company stuff going on. Talk about LCS, and we'll leave it to Tusha to get it started, and we'll go from there.
Well, the first topic I want to talk about was but I'll bring it up anyway. So there have been a lot of game representation in movie and TVs nowadays. Just wanted to hear you guys' opinions on just what do you guys think about that and how they represent these games in media. So,
oh, you're talking about like shameless Netflix
like
crossovers, like
the Last of Us TV show. Like that's been released, I think, this week or something like that.
I heard I heard a little bit sus things about the reviews so far, that it might be good and it might be bad, is that kind of thing. But I'm generally not a fan of when they don't put a lot of effort into porting those over to like Netflix or something. I've seen a lot of really bad Netflix adaptations.
I think they got a good actor though, or good. Pedro Pascal is like the main guy. Is
Mandalorian,
yeah. He's Game of Thrones, does a bunch of shit. So
Oberyn Martell,
yes, getting his face smashed in. But
yeah,
is there like any other like big examples? Like The Witcher isn't necessarily like a video game adaptation. It's like originally.
I think we can include that. That's adaptation.
Definitely.
Yeah, because they're kind of going off the main storyline, I guess. So that's why that's kind of taking a crap right now. But who knows what's going to happen with that?
They had the whole drama with Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Oh yeah, being recasted, Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah.
I personally have never seen The Witcher, so I don't know.
It was good. I liked it.
First season was good. Second season was worse.
When I first saw the news that The Last of Us was going to get an adaptation, I was actually pretty excited, especially with Pedro Pascal. I think he's actually a really good fit.
I think he fits fit.
Who's the name of the main character?
She's also the Joel. Joel's the main character.
Right? Yes. Yeah. It could be really good.
The girl. What's the girl's name?
The girl's from Game of Thrones. It's the.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Mormont, the little.
Yeah, she's a queen.
Yeah, not even a queen.
Bella Ramsey is her name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Do we have any other examples of adaptations? I feel like we don't have a lot of things that we can draw from here.
I was gonna say like Sonic the Hedgehog movies.
That was
Arcane.
Arcane was really good.
The new Super Mario Brothers movie. That looks good.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah. I mean, the voice is the only thing, but like I've seen the teaser and trailer and stuff, and I think it looks pretty poppin'.
Jablinski Gaming as Bowser.
Oh yeah. I actually like his voice as Bowser. I think it fits.
Yeah, it does. It's like the cheesy, intimidating type.
Right.
Do you look forward to it, or are you just kind of hating on it, or what's up? Because I mean, they kind of do the same thing with animes, where they turn it into like a movie adaptation, where they do like a Full Metal Alchemist movie, and it turns out absolutely awful.
Yeah. I should change what I'm saying. I really like a lot of animated adaptations, where they take an animated video game and turn it into an animated series like Arcane. I hate live action adaptations. You will never find the perfect actor for any video game character, like ever. It's so rare that
Henry Cavill was the perfect Witcher.
I know, but even remember that one interview he said where like fans will never agree with who you have, even if you are like the best possible. He said it in interviews like, fans will not always agree with me of me being the Witcher, because they're not like who they're picturing. They see the Witcher as that character that they played, not necessarily him, even though he's like one of the best adaptations you can have for that situation. So when you port it over to that live action, plus that's just him. Think about all the other characters that you can't necessarily vibe with from the games that are now in a live action version, and some of them are probably going to be C or D tier actors who just ruin the character for you.
Yeah. I mean, did any of you guys watch Uncharted?
No.
Yes.
The new one?
Wasn't that terrible?
I mean, I thought it was
I
decent.
thought it was okay, but it was weird seeing Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah,
Tom Holland, like,
just
It wasn't terrible. I mean, I think it was
does not
decent.
fit that role. In my
I saw
opinion.
it get really bad reviews.
it wasn't great. I thought Mark Wahlberg would have been a better Nathan Drake, honestly. Just gotta flip the roles there, and it would have been way better.
Yeah.
I mean,
than find another.
I get it because they're like making like a younger Nathan Drake, right?
Well, they
like,
want to make like 4 or 5 of these movies, and Mark Wahlberg's already in his he's probably his upper 40s already.
40, I was
So
gonna say, yeah.
if it takes 10 years to make that, he's not going to be doing Nathan Drake at 60.
I don't
Most
think
likely.
they're gonna make another Uncharted movie after the
Probably
the
not.
first one.
They might give it one more go, but
I think
I don't know.
I think that the main problem with live action adaptations is that 95% of the time they're soulish cash grabs. They're just trying to hook on to the population who likes that genre and that like story, and say, "Oh, hey, look, we made a live action version. Come watch this." And they don't put the effort into like making a good story. They're just rehashing what they have from the
Exactly.
video game, which doesn't really work creatively. Especially when
Yeah,
they changed stuff. The Halo show. That one was terrible.
Yes,
I forgot that existed, to be
I
honest.
was going to bring
Everyone
that up,
did.
and then I forgot. Yeah,
Again,
Or,
it's,
everyone
the-
forgot that existed.
Mortal Kombat movies when they did those.
I like that movie though.
You liked the last
it was
one?
all right. Yeah, it was. I thought it was pretty decent.
I never saw
what
it,
else got
actually.
one? Assassin's Creed got a movie, and that was kind of
Oh, yeah,
Kinda
They got a movie?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's with Magneto, the new
young
Magneto.
version.
Yeah,
The younger one, yeah.
Michael
Is that already-
Fassbender
when
or
did that-
something.
Go
When did it
Fassbender.
come
Yeah.
out?
A
few
couple
years
years
ago.
ago. I want to say like 3 years ago.
2019?
Let me take
Yeah.
a look here.
Okay.
Oh, 2016, a little longer.
Was
6
it
years.
was it good?
Yeah. It was okay. It was just a lot of like animus, and
Oh.
then they would throw you into the the flashback, and it was a lot more of him talking to the animus company than actually being in the game. I feel like.
That's dumb.
The
Yeah.
fact that it's so hard for us to think of good live action adaptations speaks for itself.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the Tomb Raider series, but I feel like that would be a decent adaptation.
Or Resident Evil. But,
Right, Resident Evil, yeah.
Did the Resident
really-
Evil games come before the movies?
Yeah.
Those games came. I mean, those games and movies have been out forever, so I just wasn't sure which one came first.
The chicken or the egg?
Honestly, at this point,
Are there any video games that you would want to see become TV shows or movies? Or
I
have the
don't want to
potential
see
be?
God of War. I do not want to see God of War as a live
Well, it's
action
happening.
adaptation.
no.
It's happening, so.
Somebody scrap
What do
it.
you mean it is?
Scrap it.
Amazon got the rights to make a God of War TV show.
No.
Yes. Yes.
I've seen what they've done with Lord of the Rings, where they didn't get the full rights to it and then made a garbage storyline. It's just total dud. They're going to do the same for God of War. They're not going to find the
Lord
right
of the
people
Rings
to play
did-
the roles.
Lord of the Rings got full rights over that story.
No, they didn't. They didn't because half of what they did was timelines that never actually occurred in the Silmarillion.
Oh, okay, that's true.
was-
I was like,
it
they
was
have another 4
before.
seasons to go, so I still have like a little bit of hope for that because like part of that contract is they had to make 5 seasons.
Damn. It's a
So
lot of seasons.
there's going to be 4 more seasons of.
Yeah, I bet they're feeling real bad about that right now.
I feel like it could get better in season 2 because like stuff actually started happening in the last 2 episodes of the Rings of Power. But
All I'm saying is, I do not know where that $1 billion went.
no, I don't either. It made no sense on how that was such an expensive show.
They're nice sets. Like the backgrounds are really nice, but
Yeah.
the animation's not there.
But who laundered money is the question.
Yeah.
Dude, back to your original question. Like, what would be a game that you would want to see?
Do you think any of the Ratchet and Clank series would make a good movie?
Not live action, but definitely
sounds
like an
CGI
animated
for
one.
Sure.
No,
Definitely a
like an
CGI movie for sure.
Because it'd be like Sonic, kind of like Sonic. I feel like you could turn it out, but
You guys remember the original Sonic design that they were going to go with until fans?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah.
I feel like that's exactly what happened with Ratchet and Clank.
I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn you could make a good live action thing with.
Oh, I thought of a movie that was released that was really bad. Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
That was a movie? It was a terrible game.
Yeah, it was a movie.
That was an awful game, and I blame Curtis for telling me to buy it.
Oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it. You're
That
going to
was
stir the
Vinny
bee's
told
nest.
me to buy it. I didn't buy that garbage.
Oh no, it was Derek. Derek
Yeah.
is the one that
Vinny and Derek are on my ass.
No, Vinny hates it. Vinny hates it too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just,
that was a terrible
It's
game.
Derek. I literally cut it in half with the scissors.
Wait, did you
I
really?
said-
Like the CD?
Yeah, I got the CD and I cut it in half with the scissors and I sent it to Derek. Like I literally took a video of me cutting it in half and he got really pissed at me. But it was
Yeah, that game was
Funny as
terrible.
fuck.
the best thing I ever did.
Do you think Red Dead Redemption 2 would make a good movie?
Ooh,
probably, yeah.
I think that is actually
That's
Or
probably one of the
show.
most doable live action movies I've heard
Yeah.
that they could do.
yeah.
Because it's just Wild West.
Yeah.
Somebody fucking get on it. Like
I'm not
for
sure
Could
if
be
you
art-
guys have played It Takes Two, the story game with like.
I haven't played it, but I've seen.
I think that would be
gameplay.
a really good movie. It's basically a story about like a husband and wife like trying to get a divorce, and their daughter or son makes up this like imaginary story where they like become two little puppets and dolls, and they have to like work together to figure out their way out of there, and like they kind of rekindle their relationship through that. And so I feel like that's just like a good-hearted family story that you could tell.
And I
As a
got, you had
movie.
me depressed there for a second. I was like, damn.
Oh no, it's a happy ending for sure.
That'd be like a Disney movie or something.
And they all die.
Right. Like a Pixar
Disney
movie,
movie.
you can just see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be garbage.
What? I think any video game like story genre would fit well, like where you're just playing the story, but any like action fighting game that would be hard to interpret as a movie.
I
One
think
that would
Don't
be interesting
Starve-
is
Go ahead.
Do you
No.
think they can make a show?
one that would
Oh,
be
yeah.
interesting is Hades.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was thinking about that too. Kind of getting
thinking
up.
about that,
What show was that where
Blood of
Tom Cruise
Zeus?
couldn't die?
I feel like they'd be
Oh,
like Blood of Zeus.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that movie wasn't that good, but I mean you could do like the same type of adaptation where you just get up and try fighting your way through until like finally get to the goal of your life or something like that for Hades. But where you like die, you wake back up, do the same thing, and then it's like
They
you're,
made a
like,
movie
stuck.
about that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that exactly, but like the one where you like die and then you wake back up.
Mhm.
I heard it was.
Well, they have
terrible.
like
I don't
Happy
remember.
Death Days, kind
That's
of.
what I was thinking of. Yeah,
That movie
Yeah.
sucks.
it was so bad.
They made a part two. I haven't seen the second one.
No, they
I think
didn't.
there's
Why
three
would
of
they
them.
make a part two?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking Don't Starve could make a good animated series. It never live action, but they had plans of making some type of animated shorts for it because it's sort
that'd be
of
dope.
like Lord of the Flies type, where a bunch of survivors are stuck in the wilderness of this world. So, could
What's
be-
Is there
Skyrim.
a story in that game, Connor, or is he just like
Yeah.
play through it?
yeah, it's story
Okay.
based. You don't play through the story, but it leaves crumbs for you to understand the world.
Gotcha,
And they
gotcha.
have outside media, like they do shorts and stuff animated for the game about how everybody got there.
What about Skyrim? I feel like Skyrim could be cool. Like, there's just so much you can do with that. But
Yeah, I kind of thought about that, but they're like the main story of Skyrim's kind of not bad.
you don't
but
have to
it's
follow
just
the main
really-
story. You don't have to follow
Yeah.
the main story of the game. Like, I think you just use the universe as like a setting, I should say.
We
Think it would
follow
be too
the
similar to like Game of Thrones or House of Dragons then?
no, it's way more mystical.
Okay.
You follow the life of one of the cabbage farmers who gets all his cabbages stolen and then Fus Rodad off a mountaintop.
Or assassinated by the what is it? The
Dark Brotherhood.
Dark Brother.
yeah, the Dark Brother.
Come on, Noah.
So, it's been so long since I played that game, man.
Doesn't
It's been
matter.
like six or 7 years.
Oh, there's my all-time favorite game.
It's top 10 for me, that's for sure.
Top one.
Top one.
Top one.
Yeah.
I guess.
five, guys.
I'm not going to knock that. I'm not
I
going to knock
think
that.
I think Arcane has been my favorite video game adaptation
Definitely.
series
Definitely.
so far. But continuing off that, did you hear about the stuff that's happening with the LCS? I know we were talking about it earlier, and you didn't.
No.
But
Enlighten me.
I was watching a guy called GBay99 on YouTube, and he was kind of talking about how there were scaling down, basically, of the LCS. People were kind of almost forced to go out. Like one of the main narrators, not that are narrators, casters. One of the main casters is actually he got pushed out, and he'd been working in there for like 10 years. And apparently he's been forced to step down. And
No way. Is it Freak?
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
And apparently there's just a lot of rumors that the LCS might be failing in the near future, and they might be shutting down operations at some point.
What?
Are they just not making money, or what's the deal?
I guess so. I guess North America is just not good competitively on the international stage, and it's just losing a lot of viewership because of it.
No, it is Freak. He's one of my favorite casters too.
Yeah, so apparently he basically came out and said he was retiring, and then later the YouTuber I was watching was saying that he had reached out on social media and said it really wasn't his intention to do that. It was kind of forced on him, so he's kind of getting pushed out. Like they're ramping down.
So they get fired
the
or you
LCS.
lose.
So they're like thinning out their employees to potentially cut costs, which is a bad sign.
Right. What?
I mean, the alternative is that almost every company, or not almost every company, but a lot of companies are doing that right now. So maybe it's just like in an attempt to kind of survive the next few years, and then I don't know if he's ever going back, but maybe they'll flush things back out again. But
Yeah,
I feel like esports like more has kind of gone downhill over the last like year. I don't see it.
I think the
nearly
main
as much
problem
as I used to.
is just that the North American LCS is just not good on the international stage. Like no one wants to see
Yeah, they're bad.
your teams lose
They're real bad.
over and over again, like bottom tier.
It's true.
So
It's like watching the U.S. men's soccer team in the World Cup. You're like,
Right, exactly.
We were okay this time around, but most years we.
and it's kind of a bad thing because the more they were getting into it, the more it was talking about how that's a potentially bad thing for pretty much all esports. Is that the LCS is pretty exclusive in how it deals with its members. Like they get paid salary to play, and most other places you have to win to make money, which means that they still have to work like a 9-to-5 job. So if the LCS is going to go down, that's pretty bad for all esports. What do you think?
That's
Do
actually-
you think
that's
there's
insane.
do you think there's some way that they can boost their viewership, or
I mean, I feel like
would it be bad?
Riot has just been like not focusing their stuff on League of Legends because every year before the new season starts, they always release a cinematic. And this year they actually announced that they weren't doing one. And it's like, why? Like,
Are they developing like 4 or 5 new games over the next like?
I mean,
Well, they're
too.
League of
But
Legends
they're
based,
like-
though.
right, they're outsourcing to other developers to make these games. They're not like making it themselves, you know.
Okay.
So I think Riot,
It's-
I don't know what Riot's doing because League of Legends is their bread and butter. Like that's their game. I mean, I understand they have like Valorant, you know, TFT, like even Wild Rift on mobile. Like those are games that have a wide audience as well. But League of Legends, like in order to be Riot Games, like League is still should be your number one priority. And to me,
In fact,
like,
you
they're
put
not
Wild
they're not
Rift
doing
in
that.
there. It's wild.
Well, they have the fighting game. They have the fighting game, and then they have
Yes.
the MMO coming out.
Yeah, which I'm
So
actually
I-
really excited about.
Yeah, I really like the lore of League of Legends. So hopefully the MMO actually brings that to the forefront instead of the only lore interaction you have in League is like their voice lines.
Right. They walk past each other in the river and they say one line like, "Oh, that's supposed to be
That's
this
deep.
and that." But that's deep.
Have they released anything new with this new season? Like, is there any big updates, or has things stayed relatively the same since they released
So
like the?
if you play the preseason, that's basically the new season. So like the Chemtech Drake, that's new. All the new changes to the abilities and uh, items, that's new. That's all gonna stay with season 13. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna make like minor changes and tweaks throughout the year, like patch notes and stuff, or via patches. But I mean, there's nothing really new with League, and I feel like League is as sad as it is to say, like it's dying. I mean, there's still a shit ton of players, but like people are just losing interest because the game itself is just they're changing it for the worst, is what I'm trying to say.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, back in the day when I was like 13, 14, League was hype. Like I mean, I still watch LCS, but to me, I was really invested in the players back in the day because obviously they weren't being paid like millions of dollars to play. You know, they're playing to compete, to play with their teammates and all that stuff. But nowadays, like they're being sponsored by like freaking Bitcoin and all that crap. So it's all about the money. And like to me, that's just not fun to watch. But
I guess is there anything about the game that's made it inherently less fun over the last few years compared to like when? Because I've only been playing it for 2 or 3 years, and honestly, I don't even play it that fun. I just play it because all y'all play, and I just play with the guy when you guys play. So I don't have like the historical background of like what made it so good versus why it's shit now.
so I think right now League is making it more accessible to new players, and that's I mean I get it, right? They're trying to expand their audience, but when I was playing in high school with like Vinny and Josh and Tristan, like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were just playing the game. Whereas now, like, oh, you have to like play a certain champ. You have to be in the meta, or else you're gonna lose. And I feel like that's the mentality of players nowadays. It's like, oh, Scion's OP. I'm gonna just play Scion because people keeps telling me that he's just nuts right now.
So the meta is too strong is basically what the issue is.
It's just like overexposure of information, and like people take advantage of that to rank up, right? And so it's just not fun seeing the same champs over and over again. Whereas back in the day, you know, you can pick whoever you want, and it didn't matter. No one's gonna like
Right,
flame
there's just
you.
less viable champions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Metagaming. Do you still play it a lot?
Who, me?
Yeah, do you still play League of Legends a lot?
Yeah.
Not by myself, but yeah, when everybody's on, yeah, I do. But I think that metagaming is just going to be something we're going to have to deal with. Nowadays, there's no way to avoid it because everybody wants to win and everybody wants to be the best. So everybody's going to have to figure out which strategies are the best. And people aren't going to do that on their own anymore. They have Google. They're just going to Google the best strategies. And that's almost any competitive game. You're going to have metagaming, which sucks. In my mind, I don't like it either because there's no creativity a lot of the time with it. So you just go and Google, okay, what's the best build path? What's the best lane sequence to go through? It's frustrating, but it's just going to be something we're going to have to deal with in the future of gaming. So
Yeah,
it takes a learning curve away from it.
I agree.
So it's like you're going to have people that might not be that good, but they're just using the meta that makes them good. So there's no like counterattack you can do for it. Same with COD when you go through all the weapons and it's one weapon that's good compared to the rest of them. And you're trying to, you know, just enjoy the game and use the guns you like, and then it just ends for you because you can't do anything. Stupid.
Right, I mean, you get into Call of Duty, man. Oh, yeah, that shit again.
everything I've seen in the community that points to why people hate Modern League is that the balancing team cannot balance the game properly.
Yeah.
For whatever reason is, they're not doing their job properly, and those balance changes have just progressively made things more lopsided and less even.
I mean, I feel like it's always a conversation when a new champion gets released. It's like, what? They just like want to get the champion adoption up, like get more people playing the new champion.
So
they
they give them
as hell.
every single ability in the game rolled into one gigantic book paragraph to read.
Like their
Like
passive,
action.
I guess
like, four abilities
is that how it
combined.
started? Like how old is Scion as a champion? Like I feel like
Scion's
Well,
simple.
Scion actually
is
got
just-
reworked. He got reworked.
Yeah.
So before he used the champion you guys knew now, like he had a click, like a point and click stun. He just threw something at you, it would travel, boop, you're stunned. Like now he's like pretty complex, but back in the day the champions were super simple. They had like one passive, one Q, W, E, R ability. Like one
if you
line.
wanna know-
like it's not like
if you want to know how
paragraphs.
overloaded champions are, go and look at Action's passive or any of his abilities. You literally have to read, like 3 paragraphs to understand one of his abilities. So that's part of the problem, too, is that they don't necessarily do a good job of making old champs like equivalent to new champs. Either they make old champs like super busted because they're simple, or they make them garbage and nobody plays them like Skarner. And then the new champs that they introduce are either dog water because they're overloaded and they have to reduce all their stats by a ton, and then they like slightly buff them and then they're just busted beyond repair. Like having
any examples?
Spin infinitely now.
Oh yeah.
Or, what are some other ones? Who is the whip champion that came out?
Nyla.
Nyla. So Nyla heals, shields, and gets more experience for everything. There's no reason why it happens. It just does. She gets more shielding, she gets more healing, and she gets more XP. For no other reason than that being her passive.
I can just hear Tusha getting pissed, just in his eyes.
I hate
this game.
And all of that scales with like stuff like crit, which makes it so she on paper, if you balance it right, it wouldn't be OP. But the moment you add just a few too many numbers, all of a sudden it's just through the roof. And that's the problem that the balancing team has. So
yeah, they're like really OP one patch, then next patch they get nerfed to the ground and they're just never played again until they get buffed again. It's like, it's not fun. It's just dumb. But
and I got mad when they increased my Lux Q recharge time or time. I was having a great time spamming that shit. It was fantastic.
He's still really good. Like some champs, even though you nerf them a little bit, they're still gonna be viable, and she's one of them. But yeah, that's the problem with old champs, because they always have to rework them to fit the new play style of League and like the new abilities and stuff. But it's whatever. I'm still gonna play it at the end of the day. I'm a diehard fan. Been playing it since I was like 11, so I just like seeing
big
like,
League of Legends
old
guy
games being updated and seeing what they do with it. Even though I dislike some of the changes, it's like at least you're trying, you know. But yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up something I just saw too. And I know we talked about it in the recent newsletter with companies that just don't really treat their employees right, especially with Blizzard, Activision, and we got those unions starting to form. I saw this for the Callisto Protocol. I know the release on that wasn't the best, but for the credits, the Callisto Protocol left out a bunch of key developers out of the credits, and those employees were forced to work like 15-hour days, 7 days a week, and they were holding like personal friendship grudges and grievances against them, and some of the staff were like just additional and miscellaneous people that were put in there, and it doesn't really say anything what these people did. It just says miscellaneous people that worked on the game. So I don't know if that's just another thing with companies now that if that's the reason they're getting delayed so much is because there's just so much internal conflict, especially with like Hogwarts Legacy. I know we had the studios mixed up for that, but like that's been delayed several times. But just want to know your guys' thoughts on how these company conditions just keep.
Is that
coming.
Ubisoft?
They're just leaking out. The Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, is that Ubisoft?
Let's see here.
Is that their publisher?
Not necessarily the developing.
Yeah, it's hard to
It's
tell.
developed by Striking Distance Studios and published by Krafton, so not Ubisoft.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about that.
I feel like it's just a tough spot for everybody because my guess is they're just understaffed. They're trying to get these games out as fast as possible, and release dates are hard deadlines. So
it's just a clashing of upper management.
We got done. Yeah, like here's how far behind we are, and then it's like, okay, what do we cut to get back on time, and then we'll fix it later. And the more and more you do that, there's just less and less complete of a game you have the closer you get to launch. And I just feel like, oh yeah, we'll fix it later. And by the time you have like 50 of those, it's like,
yeah, and it's like you'd think with how much you'd want to test it to make sure like the game is fully developed and everything. And it's like, again, in the article 2 for the Callisto Protocol, it says that with the staff working punishingly long hours, the director was boasting on social media about putting in long hours all the time. But it says designers were spending as much as 10 hours a day in meetings, trying to grow a team to their normal workload, which was 15 hours a day and 7 days a week.
Jesus.
But then it's like you have all of that, and then you release the game, and it's so unoptimized that people were having a hard time running it. So it's like, what is this saying? Like, yeah, this team's going to work 10 hours a day for the whole 7 days a week, and we need it done by this day no matter what. And then you release it, and it's not done, and people are just blowing up saying this game is shit. It needs to be re-optimized.
That sounds like
you lose money.
It sounds like a company issue where they're having 10 hours of meetings a day. Like, what the hell are you spending 10 hours meeting about? Like, these, like, unless there's no good reason for that.
It just says attempting to coordinate a rapidly growing team in addition with their normal workload.
It does. I don't care. 10 hours of meetings a day is. How are you going to get that done? Like, your full-time job is 8 hours. Probably, honestly, 10 to 12 hours. So if you're going to spend only 10 hours a day actually working, then of course it's going to get knocked out.
Right.
Yeah, and some of those designers that were doing that were just cut from being in the credits for doing anything. So it's like,
that's so messed up.
I mean, even if you worked on it for a month or two, but you're putting in 10 hours a day, it's like, you put in a significant amount of work, and then they just don't put you in there.
I mean, you look at movies, like they'll have those credits like fucking 10 minutes long, and they'll have every single person that worked on the movie, their title.
We're not going to know who they are, but it's like the person that did it is going to look for their name and be like, yeah, that feels good that I'm in there.
Exactly, yeah.
And they like know what I did. But it's like, imagine spending that time and then you watch the credits. It's like, yo, where's my name?
You spend like 5 minutes
sitting there waiting, and you just have
through the credits. Yeah.
You just have that like sinking feeling. The further down you get, you're like, shit, they didn't put me in here. Like, I can just only imagine how terrible that feels.
I put 200 hours into making this, and they put me under miscellaneous.
That's so sad.
They put you in little like font on the bottom right corner.
Oh yeah, this guy did this too.
I don't know, man. It's just getting sickening. It's like all these games, they just don't want to. It's like they're not for the player anymore. It's all about money.
Do you know the biggest problem is? The biggest problem is that the people who are the managers of a lot of these gaming companies don't play games.
Yeah.
They don't have the same passion for games that a game developer will most likely have going into a project. And they're the ones deciding when that game gets released and when it's finished. And if you don't have a passion for the project, it's not going to come out right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that Hogwarts Legacy, like the delays are actually being put to use, not that it just keeps getting delayed because they have no work or like no help. But I mean, I guess we can see when it comes out for next gen consoles. But it's kind of nice to see that they're actually pushing it back instead of just releasing an unfinished game. But I don't know. I hope it's helping. It seems like they're not 100% concerned about getting money for a deadline, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the sign that they're refunding people already is like promising somewhat, I guess, as opposed to like just saying, no, we're keeping it. You're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with the delay and you're going to get it when you get it. So I don't know. The next two big games I feel like are coming out are Hogwarts Legacy and then the Star Wars Survivor game. There's some other games
coming out in a month or so? 2 months?
Hogwarts Legacy is coming out February 10th, and Star Wars Survivor is coming out March 17th. So
yeah, a couple months
this quarter, but still have a month before Hogwarts Legacy comes out. I'll be pre-ordering that, so I'm going to play that. Also, I've been seeing this game Forspoken. I've been getting a absolute shit ton of ads. I don't know if you guys are getting it or if it's like based around New York.
Or
But-
spoken?
Yeah, it's like I think it's an MMO, but I don't know.
Never heard of it.
They have like a demo out now. I think it's getting released in a few weeks, but I know that's another big game coming out. Otherwise, I feel like this next month is pretty dead in terms of game releases until February 10th.
I know we were supposed to be getting
It's about
Dead
a New
Space
Yorker.
remake.
That's why.
Is it?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
Oh yeah, yep.
Forspoken follows the journey of Frey, a young New Yorker transported to the beautiful and cruel world of Althea.
That makes sense, dude. I've
That's
really
so
been getting
funny.
I've been getting spammed with ads on my phone. I see it on the subway. I see it like all over Times Square. I was like, "What the hell is this game?"
Well,
Why is it
the
all over
composer is Bear McCreary, which did God of War Ragnarok, the music for it.
Okay,
So.
yeah.
He also
Square
did
Enix
Godzilla,
game is
too.
publishing. Who's developing this? Luminous Productions.
It looked
Yeah,
good,
Square
but I
Enix.
haven't played the demo yet. But,
I
yeah,
don't think it's an MMO. I
that's-
think it's an action RPG. Like story. It's like
Okay.
a heavy storyline based.
Oh, okay. I was like, again, like all the ads like didn't really show any gameplay, which is like, I don't know how this is going to be if you're not going to show gameplay in your like advertisements and your marketing material. But
Looks
Some-
like it might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Uh,
that.
it's
looks like a cool
also
game.
it's also PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, they probably saw that you bought one and be like, spam this guy now.
Well, no, it's on Steam.
Is it? It's at a time
Yeah, it says
exclusive.
coming
You sure it's not
coming January
later?
20. Yeah, coming January 24th. This game plans to unlock in approximately 13 days.
Maybe the
You can
demo's PS5 exclusive because they have a demo
pre-purchase
out right
it
Okay.
on Steam.
now. I don't know if that's the case, but maybe. But
I don't know. Yeah, this game actually looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
they're releasing a new Monster Hunter game this month. What the? Why?
Noah's
Why?
favorite game. He said,
Hold
"Why?"
on, I need to look. I see Monster Hunter Rise releasing January 20th. There's no way. Oh, it is.
New releases. Let's
Wait,
take
it
a look here.
says it was released a while ago. I don't know.
When does The Forest 2 come out? I know, like, you guys are really big into that.
When does that come out?
A Son of the
saw it.
Forest or something?
Yeah, Sons of the Forest.
February 23rd.
So that's like a month away.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. I'm excited for that one too.
Oh,
It's like a
seven. Go ahead.
like a
Chris.
7 Days to Die arc mix. Kind of looks like.
Do not bring up 7 Days to Die. I hate that game.
Why?
That game is not good. It is bad.
No, it's not good.
It gives survival crafting
Awfully
games a bad
optimized.
name. I get
Yeah,
that you
it's
guys like it, but it's so bad.
I
It's
enjoyed
alright.
throwing spears at Curtis and killing him. It was kind of fun.
I remember when
So you guys-
one of our player models was just all black.
Like,
That was me.
Remember that?
Couldn't even see him.
Yeah. You have to unlock this character first.
You have to unlock that character.
I was so confused. They're like, "We can't even see you." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I just loaded in. I didn't because you can't even pick your character or anything like that. You just spawn in and it randomizes it.
That will forever
So
be funny
confused.
as fuck.
Oh, you guys know what
Nah,
I've been
I'm-
watching recently though?
What's that?
Look up Samuel the 17th. He does like a shit ton of old. I got to like round 100 on zombies in Black Ops or whatever. He goes through every single game and it's so nostalgic looking at all the different things. Because I never played a lot of the newer zombies
yeah.
games. It's so cool to see doing all the Easter eggs and everything on the newer maps. It's actually really.
That's a different type of dedication.
If you guys are interested in that.
I don't know those round 100 zombie games, man. They take so long to do. It's just like
I remember us playing that
Yeah.
on our iPod Touches in like 8th grade. We would play for
I know.
hours on end, bro.
I think the highest I got was like a level 125 or something.
Jesus.
Shit. It was so tough.
We wasted so much time just standing
never
at
change
a
my
boardwalk in dirt rise.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I will never change my mind though that Origins
Yes.
is the best zombies map of all time. You cannot
Which one
change
is
my
that one?
mind.
Is that one the one with
No.
the giant robot?
Yeah, the ones that always
That
stepped
walks?
on Tom
Okay.
all the time. Tom, watch out for the robot foot. It's coming down. Nah, I'm good, guys.
I don't know. Derize is like my favorite.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
It's
Durais.
a classic.
So good. It's got everything you need in a zombies game. It's got the pack-a-punch.
Kino's good. Kino's always good. But I
It's
don't
the
know.
all-time best zombies map. Let's look it up.
Apparently
There's
they
like a fan voted one.
released all the. It was either in Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4. It was like called Origins, not the Origins map, but Origins is like a map pack where they redid all the old zombies maps.
Oh
Every
yeah,
single
yeah.
one of them
yeah.
from like Black Ops 2 and past, and put them in the like Black Ops 3 or something. I don't remember which one.
That's dope. Yeah.
That's what you do when
it had all the
nobody's
new
playing your
stuff from
game.
the newer games, but had the old maps. What was that?
Okay.
That's what happens when nobody's playing your game.
That's true. But apparently
Okay.
that's super highly rated.
Yeah, it
because
is.
Everybody loves
I'm
it.
sure it was.
What's the number one here? Keynote or Toten for Black Ops. That was a pretty good map.
Yeah,
That's
Kino's
the
always
best
good.
one.
Mob of the
World
Dead.
War, World War was Derize. I don't think it did any
What was
anything
number one?
higher than that.
Keynote or Toten. Mob of the Dead second. Origins
Okay.
third. Deriz fourth. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think
agree
that's
with that.
nostalgia
Yeah.
talking rather than like I
Oh,
love
no,
Keynote or
Keynote was a
Toten.
pretty good map.
Like Keynote or Toten is definitely the scariest zombies map I ever played when I was a kid. I was scared of that map.
Nah, the original Noctur on Toten for World at War was the scariest shit I've ever played.
You're
you
just so
couldn't run.
confined. Yeah.
You're just watching zombies come in from the fog, and it was
Again,
like,
that's-
man, and the sounds that they would do too. It was just like if you had your room, all the lights shut off, and you had the sound up on the thing, and now you're just you're looking around. It's like, holy fuck, man.
Dude, could you imagine being one of the voice
that-
actors for those zombies, dude? You just get in a room, you're like,
You'd
okay,
be
just,
great at it.
yeah, just scream as loud as possible.
It's like grunting.
How do you voice that? You look so stupid.
So that was another
Oh,
one.
man.
Tushin I played on the iPod, and you could like glitch behind the mystery box.
Yes. Dude, those were
and just
the
use a
days.
flamethrower to win.
I remember us making like a Facebook group chat or group like page just to talk about it. It's like me,
I did not do
you. Yeah, you were in it, Noah.
Was I? Like
yeah,
an actual
me,
page?
you, Dan Schmicky. It's a bunch of random, like Derek Jackson. I don't even know. I never played with him, but he was in it. It was called like The Boys or something, and I like reread all of our messages, and we were just talking about zombies. And
Was it
like,
a
what
group
we
chat
got
or was
to.
it a Facebook page?
It was a group page. You know how they used to have group pages?
No.
Where it's like a thread of just like people in that group could talk in.
Is it like, was that like before pages were a thing?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't remember this, but
And it's like,
Sorry.
oh, I got to round 96. And they're like, no way. Yeah, bro, what do you mean?
good old middle school days.
Yeah. Twin games actually were good.
Games were
I
good.
feel like
for a
the
while.
games
They're
there have been a lot
falling
of good
off.
games that came out, but yeah, no, quality is definitely. I think it's just because of the number of games that come out. There's just so many.
That's what I was
duds.
gonna say.
Yeah.
The
You know what I
duds
miss?
ruin it
I
for
miss-
everybody else. But I mean,
I
like,
miss couch co-op. I wish couch co-op was more of a thing still. It just totally died during COVID.
Like,
What do you mean?
screen-
Even before that, like
Yeah.
I think the moment
I mean,
that I started realizing it was dying was when I got Halo 4 and we were trying to figure out how to play couch co-op like with two controllers and you couldn't do it. And I was just absolutely devastated. I'm like, you serious? We bought the game and now we can't play with somebody
Yeah,
who's sitting right next to us.
even co-op campaigns too. They used to have that for Halo, like the original Halo and everything. Halo 2, I think, had it, but I don't know. It was just kind of nice. Same with Zombies, where they only had like local play co-op if you didn't have live, when live
Yeah.
really wasn't the big thing. I enjoyed it. Or if you did like fighting, like split screen fighting on Halo, and you could try and run each other over with tanks and do like a mini big team battle with everybody on like a LAN party or something.
Mhm.
That was always pretty fun.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the. What feature in gaming that's missing nowadays do you guys miss the most? Because that's definitely mine. Is the couch co-op?
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
Couch co-op. I mean, that was pretty nice.
I feel like that's the biggest one. I can't even think of anything else though. It like screams out to me like new games need this.
I don't know. I'd say that
being
that
able
or-
to talk to the enemy team in game, they pretty much took that out.
Yeah.
I
They
wonder
limited
why.
it a lot. I
Everyone's
wonder
being
why.
too toxic.
but
Everyone's talking about their
everyone is
moms.
too toxic.
Uh,
But I miss
Pre-game,
them.
every pre-game lobby.
Yeah.
Free game. That still exists on Call of Duty, but like you can't talk to people mid game anymore.
I think having like game chat, they've kind of phased out. I don't think there's. I mean, it's there, but I don't think there's so many people that are just in their own party that game chat's hardly ever used anymore, like it used to be.
They added it
But-
back for the Warzone for Modern Warfare 2, where like there's actually proximity chat now,
Yeah.
Oh,
which I
okay.
like. Because you see so many cool clips of that online or on social media where it's like people just doing like cool gags and stuff like that with like the
He's
voice
emoting
proximity
on
chat. Like
me.
they'll do like the they'll like play like the Jaws music, or they'll play like a horror sound
yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
sneak up on people, and they
Oh
start
my God,
freaking
dude.
out over proximity chat.
I remember there was a streamer who did a thing where he pretended like his controller died in Warzone, so that people would walk around the corner try and shoot him, and then he would shoot him. It was like he's like, "Oh, wow, get the batteries for the controller. My controller died," and then they would casually walk around the corner to shoot him, and then he would blast him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like co-op campaigns for a lot of games, but I feel like they don't really do that a whole lot unless you have like a Borderlands 2 game or, you know, Borderlands in general where it's just straight campaign and there's not really multiplayer or anything.
Oh shit! You know what I
But-
miss? You know what I miss? Actual campaigns.
Yeah.
Like, why do so few games like actually want to delve into a campaign now? When did they like stop actually making good campaigns for multiplayer games? It's like, don't just make the multiplayer game. Like, I feel like you need that storyline to become invested in some of the characters of your game. Like, ridiculous. Like Titanfall 2 didn't have a campaign. I remember. And everybody's like, "What?
I'm trying to think of others.
I don't care about these characters if there's no story behind them."
Overwatch,
yeah.
Overwatch 2 didn't have one.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
I mean, Overwatch
2.
was supposed to have one though. That was like that was a big thing, is that
Yeah.
it's supposed to have it, right?
Yeah, think about how much is missing from that game because you can't properly connect with those characters. From the stories they built, from the background cinematics is amazing, but because they just don't want to put the effort into a campaign, it's so much harder to empathize and feel for those characters. It's like all you know is from the different cinema, like the Reinhardt cinematic. That's amazing. Why is that not in a campaign? But no, we're just gonna.
That's
keep
actually one
making
thing
trash
Call of Duty does
multiplayer.
well. That's one thing
Yeah.
Call of Duty does well, is because you want to go run around with fucking Ghost or Captain Price or some shit and hear the voice
Right.
lines, because you actually like play with those
Yeah.
characters a lot throughout like even multiple games. So like the actual like characters that you play in multiplayer actually have like a different feel to them because of the campaign. And
Yeah.
you're right. Like certain games just miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah. Definitely miss out on Spec Ops 2 or Survival for COD when they used to do those.
They brought that back, man. Modern Warfare 2's got a lot of good things there. There's like a few key missing things. Like a lot, like they have so much stuff that's good, but they just missed out on like some core functions. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to dive back into that because we dove into that at least on 2 different podcasts. But
What's
Yeah.
Spec Ops? I've never even heard of that.
Okay, I'll go. Last thing the one that I really enjoyed was like MW2. So it was like, it would be basically like exfil missions, and there'd be a good amount of them. Say like we'll just say
Okay.
20, and each one you would try and get 3 stars, and you'd have to finish the mission in a certain amount of time.
Gotcha.
And the side objective, some of them would have side objectives, but for like the famous one for MW2 where you're snowmobiling and you're coming down a mountain, and you can do co-ops too, where you and your friend are doing snowmobiles and you're flying down a mountain. You have G18s, like automatic G18s, and then you have enemies trying to they're like cross attacking you, and you can do it on like hardcore difficulty. But you have to get down to the mountain in say like 50 seconds to get 3 stars, and you just have constant enemies coming at you, and you're trying to fly down the mountain on a snowmobile. Or there'd be ones where you're doing like you'd start at one side of a city and you have to make it to the other one and shoot through loads of enemies as they're coming through. There'd be tanks going down the streets, and you have to get to the other side in say 1 minute and 35 seconds to get 3 stars. They were kind of like just fun missions that they would have.
Like a bonus little campaign mission.
I don't think I ever played those. Gotcha. Dope.
Let's see.
I need to play those yet. I haven't played any of them for Modern Warfare 2, or like the new Modern Warfare 2, I should say. But I do remember having a lot of fun with those. But I can't really say anything. I don't know if it's good or not because I haven't played it yet. But, could be complete ass, but
yeah, some of them really fun. But I remember one too where you were going. It was like, do you guys remember? It was a map on MW2 if you played it, but it was like one big open field, and everybody would like noob tube from one side to the other to get nukes or anything. Yeah, so there's one like that, but you're in like a big wide open field, and you have ghillie suits on, and you have to go from one side to the other, but it's all like snipers. So you can see if the enemy sees your sniper glint, you can only get 2 stars from it because then they attack you. So you have to get, and then you fail the mission. So you have to get through completely without alerting the enemy too. There was some really cool ones in there, but it's just kind of like the side stuff where you just play the game to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you later, but
yeah, they turned all those into
fun.
a battle pass instead.
Yeah. I can hate battle passes. Some of them are good,
the best one. I'm telling you, Fortnite's got the best.
So much money grabs, man.
Again, I'm fine with battle passes as long as they're purely cosmetic, and they don't really change the functionality at all for the people that don't play them. I'm pretty heavily against pay to win and already paid games.
I agree.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I think games as services has fundamentally ruined 80% of games.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Sorry.
So creating a model where you have to constantly update the game and monetize it into like a streaming-like service where you constantly have to put money back into the game, I think it's ruined a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
Just because instead of being built around making one product and like one finalized product, you make it so that there's a day 1 patch and there's a day 30 patch, and each of those patches has skins that get sent out with those patches. Stuff like that.
I mean, I think while Fortnite definitely opened the door on the battle pass side of things, I think like really the sports games opened up the microtransaction side of things. Like, I don't know if I've said this before, like Madden, like they make billions of dollars a year off microtransactions on every single game.
Yeah.
It's dumb how much money. Like,
but even buy in sports games, like what can you buy?
Packs of like characters.
Yeah, so like in Madden, like there's Madden Ultimate Team, which is like basically like your fantasy team that you can build.
Gotcha.
And you build that team by opening packs. You can either get those like by playing the game, but most of those packs are complete shit.
It's like a Pokemon pack or Overwatch loot box.
Pokemon, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And then you use those players in the game, but then they constantly release new players throughout the year, and they always get better and better and better. So other people buy them, meaning that you're just going to get your ass kicked anytime you hop on online play, so that you have to buy them as well. So if you want to play like any somewhat competitively, like or even just to not lose every single game, like you either have to play nonstop or you have to buy packs.
Gotcha.
Or you have to get incredibly lucky on like one of the free packs, but it just doesn't happen very often. So once other companies saw how much money like they were able to make with that model, it just kind of like opened up the microtransactions because 10 years ago all the microtransactions in games were DLCs. So it was like legitimate just paying for content, whether it was directly for skins or directly for maps or
Yeah.
missions and stuff like that. And that's just not something you see anymore. It's just
And now
doesn't
you get
exist.
to pay for a chance of getting what you want.
What do you say?
You get a chance to buy what you want. You have to pay for a
Right,
literal
exactly.
lottery ticket to get maybe what you want.
It's gambling. It's
Gambling,
It's very
yeah.
much gambling. It's sanctioned gambling, is what it is.
Well, and some
Like it literally will
Yeah.
tell you on Madden, like, here's how much percentage chance you have of like getting this level of player.
in
Like
some
it's literally
I
like
think
going
in
into a
some
gambling thing or roulette.
in some northern European countries that they don't allow that anymore. They have like strict things against video game monetization in loot boxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Either it was that. No, I think that was actually the reason that got added, is that you have to like put the percentage chance
Yeah.
or like tell people what the odds are, in order to like be more transparent and not basically scam people.
I think Australia just outright banned any game that has those types of.
You might be right. I need
products.
to look into that. I feel like there was a story about that. I don't remember if it actually went through, if it was just something that was talked about. But yeah, I feel like that's probably a good place to end for the day. We've been on for almost an hour now. So yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. As always, we have these coming out either Tuesday or Wednesdays, and then we got our newsletters coming out on Fridays. So if you haven't already, go to the website and subscribe to the newsletter. We'll be sending you top gaming stories from the week, gaming sales for the week, any reviews that we're releasing on the site, products or games. So go check that out if you haven't already. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll be on next week again.
Hell yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, peace
See you
out,
guys.
guys.
Peace.